Donald Trump was very critical of Hillary Clinton throughout the process of his campaign, and a lot of his criticisms were unfair, let's be honest, but there was a lot of truth to some of the criticisms that he did have against Hillary Clinton. So, for example, he critiqued her for having a relationship with Wall Street that was just too cozy. He railed against her corruption and spoke out against the favors that she did for donors to the Clinton Foundation when she was Secretary of State. Now, he also criticized her heavily for mishandling classified information. However, now that Donald Trump is president-elect, he seems to be taking a lot of cues from Hillary Clinton. And he's not trying to copy any of the good things that Hillary Clinton had to offer. He's really looking at all of the worst that Hillary Clinton had to offer and is implementing that in his own administration. So, for example, we all know that Hillary Clinton was very cozy with Wall Street, specifically Goldman Sachs. She gave speeches to Goldman Sachs and was paid $225,000 for just 1 hour. She took millions of dollars from Wall Street, and Donald Trump rightfully called her out for that, but he's kind of doing the same exact thing now. Politico explains, Goldman Sachs is dominating the early days of the incoming Trump administration. The newly picked Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, spent 17 years at Goldman. Trump's top incoming White House advisor, Steve Bannon, spent his early career at the bank. So did Anthony Scaramucci, one of Trump's top transition advisors. Goldman's president spent an hour schmoozing with President-elect Donald Trump on Tuesday and could be up for an administration job, possibly as director of the Office of Management and Budget. People close to Cohn and the transition said Cohn, a longtime commodities trader, is friendly with Trump's powerful son-in-law, Jared Kushner. It's a stunning reversal of fortune for Goldman, a longtime Washington power that fell out of favor following the financial crisis. CEO Lloyd Blankfein got hauled before Congress, along with other Wall Street executives, to account for their behavior, and Trump, who ran as a populist and bashed Wall Street on the campaign trail, featured Blankfein as a shady and dangerous character in his final campaign ad. Now, we also know that Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, she did favors for donors. She gave them special access and changed her political positions for them. And Donald Trump is showing that he's also doing favors for donors. So the Washington Post states the three latest nominees tapped by President-elect Donald Trump were major financial backers of his White House campaign. Their selection deepens the role that wealthy donors are playing in shaping the new administration, despite Trump's oft-repeated pledge to, quote, drain the swamp of special interests. Steve Mnuchin, Trump's pick for Treasury Secretary, served as his national finance chairman, helping organize dozens of high-dollar campaign fundraisers held across the country. Billionaire investor Wilbur Ross, who Trump selected as his Commerce Secretary, was an early financial supporter of Trump's campaign. Trump selected Chicago Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts to serve as Deputy Commerce Secretary. His father helped finance Future 45, a super PAC that spent lavishly for Trump in the final weeks of his campaign. TD Ameritrade founder Joe Ricketts gave the group at least $1 million through the end of September, FEC filings show. That sounds a bit like corruption now, doesn't it? Those spoils that he's giving to donors to reward them for helping him get elected, that's a form of corruption. Now, let's be fair to Trump. Obama did it. Hillary Clinton certainly would have. But when you say that you are anti-establishment and you're going to drain the swamp, well, you're a hypocrite. You're just like Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, in this way. Now, also, he criticized Hillary Clinton heavily for mishandling classified information. Well, Donald Trump is choosing to associate with people that also mishandled classified information. According to ABC News, General Petraeus got himself into a situation where he eventually pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor federal charge of mishandling classified information, leading to his resignation as the director of the CIA. The charge stemmed from the fact that while he was commanding U.S. forces in Afghanistan, Petraeus kept copious notes in black books that he kept secret from the Defense Department and the CIA. They contained highly classified information, including code names for operations. He kept those books at his home and later handed them to his mistress, Paula Broadwell, for purpose of writing his biography. And according to the federal indictment, he lied to investigators about possessing the books and sharing them with his biographer. This guy might be Donald Trump's Secretary of State. So, you're picking a Secretary of State that would literally have to check in with his probation officer every time he wanted to leave the country to conduct foreign affairs? I mean, look, You were right to criticize Hillary Clinton for that, but now you're a hypocrite. Now, another idea he borrowed from his good friend Hillary Clinton. In this now infamous tweet, he states, "Nobody should be allowed to burn the American flag. If they do, there must be consequences, perhaps loss of citizenship or a year in jail." Now, that actually looks pretty similar to a bill that Hillary Clinton co-sponsored in 2005 that sought to penalize desecration of the flag with up to 1 year in jail or a $100,000 fine, or both. So the takeaway is that Donald Trump's supporters were conned by him. They voted for Donald Trump to defeat Hillary Clinton because they didn't like Hillary Clinton, and they opted to not support Jill Stein or Gary Johnson, and they were conned. He is very similar to Hillary Clinton, and that shouldn't be shocking to anyone because they were friends prior to this election. I mean, Bill Clinton literally influenced Donald Trump to run for president. They're friends. They're in the same social circle. They're elites. They like each other. They don't hate each other like they did when they were opponents. They actually like each other. And the only way that Donald Trump could be more similar to Hillary Clinton was if he literally married Bill. So the conclusion here is that Donald Trump is being everything that his supporters hated about Hillary Clinton, but perhaps worse. And this is only the beginning. He didn't even take the oath of office yet, and he's already demonstrating his capacity to be just as corrupt as the elites he railed against in Washington. He's already proving to be a corrupt corporate puppet. Donald Trump, if you really want to copy Hillary Clinton, I mean, can you at least copy the good stuff? I mean, Hillary Clinton, she would have protected women's reproductive rights. She actually had a pretty robust mental health plan that would expand coverage to millions of Americans potentially. Why don't you copy those things? Don't copy the corruption. Don't copy the mishandling of classified information. Don't copy the spoilage. Copy the good things. But I mean, again, Donald Trump, he can't help himself. You're rich. You're greedy. So you get in office and surprise, surprise, you're going to be greedy just like you were in real life. So Donald Trump is the new Hillary Clinton. His supporters may not like that, but it's true. And throughout his tenure as president, you're going to see that he's very similar to what we dislike the most about Hillary Clinton. So if you voted for Donald Trump, I'm sorry, but you were conned.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.